Hello, my name is Sara McDaniel, and I work at the University of Alabama in the United States. And this research is co-presented with Dr. Courtney O'Grady and Dr. Allison Kearley. All three of us work at the university, and Allison is a student at the university. We are all interested in student emotional and behavioral well-being, and as you've probably heard, the United States has a critical problem of school shootings and how to prevent school shootings, how to keep children and teachers safe, and also how to follow professional guidelines that protect teachers and children from harm, based on the drills. So active shooter drills are now very common. They take place at least once a year in every school. What's interesting is that the drills do not follow the same procedures. So you may go to one district that has completely different procedures from another district. Also, interestingly, research shows mixed evidence that these drills are even effective. So we conducted a study to try to understand better student and family perspectives of active shooter drills. We conducted a survey and we conducted some interviews to try to understand better the perceptions. Our research questions were grounded around the short and long-term impacts of safety drills, how families feel about their students participating in these drills and what they hear about at home, and whether or not families and students even understand drill procedures. We surveyed 81 students. The mean age was 9, and about 22% of these students had IEPs. What we found is that fire and tornado drills are familiar to students. They have the same routine. Even across districts, you'll see pretty much the same routine on those drills. Active shooter drills generated a lot of fear, anxiety, and vulnerability both before the drills and after the drills were conducted. Parents pretty much only were learning about the drills from their children. This is a step that we can take in the future to make this required procedure even better. Also, communication about the drills, whether it's before the drills or after the drills, is lacking across all participants. And some families didn't want their children to participate in the drills or even questioned why they have to do the drills and whether or not they're effective. We had 16 interview participants. They participated in interviews, semi-structured interviews, and what they told us was that we need to improve communication around the drills. So communicating with families about what the procedures are about the drills so that they can talk to their children. Also communicating about the research effectiveness of the drills, letting the families know that a drill will happen before it happens and after it happens. We also need to consider each child and each family within each school. So considering some adaptations you may need to make based on students who have experienced trauma, those with disabilities, and those with related needs that may be exacerbated from these drills. One thing that came across, not only in the professional organization guidance that we looked at, but also with students and parents, was to stop using realistic simulations of active shooters. There are some schools or some school districts that will have students on lockdown, and then a teacher or an adult will come through and sound like an active shooter, and the children do not know that it is not real. Also, it's important to consider mental health and whether or not perhaps the school counselor is the best communicator about the drills, why they're necessary, and a team player on the procedures of the drills. And finally, as always, we want to make sure that we're using evidence-based procedures, communication steps, and integrating mental health within the active shooting drills with both planning and evaluating how they're working. We hope that you appreciate this important work in the United States and welcome your feedback. Thank you.